Good evening, everyone. My name is Orzuma. So I have been interacting with quite a few of you over the past few weeks. So we have been hosting these webinars with either our ex-students or with business schools, where we bring you information directly from the people who have studied there or who are there. So we are just kind of trying to cut the middleman out, get rid of all the myths and rumors. So you are getting information directly from the people who are doing it. So literally from the horse's mouth, so no information is better than the information that comes directly from the primary source. This has been the objective of these webinars, to bring information directly to you so that you can make use of that information to understand whether a B school is suited for you or not, or in fact, more importantly, how you can maximize your MBA experience in a particular business school. So in our series today, we have Ashutosh Gandhi. So he's a student at the State Business School in Oxford. He was a student. So Ashutosh, glad that you could join us today. Thank you so much for taking time out for talking to our students.
Thank you, Arima, and hello everyone. Thank you so much for having me here. So, as Arima mentioned, I am a current MBA student at Oxford Science Business School. I did my preparation at Jamboree, and also I used their admission consulting services, and they helped me prepare the application very well, and that helped me a lot in getting admission over here. And also I was not very confident with my background and GMAT score whether I will be able to get into Oxford with all the things that I had, but Jamboree was able to showcase my abilities.
So Ashutosh, to begin with, can you tell us a little bit about your background? What before said, what was your bachelor's degree in? What kind of work experience did you have? Can you give us a little insight into your profile before this MBA?
Sure, Irma. So before joining the MBA program, I was in merchant navy in the shipping industry with a Hong Kong-based company called Anglo Eastern. I had 6 years of experience, and my bachelor's degree was in nautical science. It is called BSc in nautical science. So before I started my preparation or started my application, I was not sure whether this kind of profile will be entertained by a business school. And Jamboree, at the consultants at Jamboree advised me that you have a very unique profile, and business schools like to bring diversity to their class. So it is a good profile, and you should definitely apply. And fortunately, I got a decent score in GMAT, so it helped me securing admission at Science Business School.
So why, after 6 years of work experience, and that too international work experience, in Hong Kong, so why did you think you needed an MBA?
Yeah, because I wanted to bring some changes in my set of skills that I had. I was getting very specialized in a particular sector, and I wanted to broaden my skill set. I wanted to do something different. I was in the shipping industry, and I was not having idea of what is required to get into a corporate sector. So I decided to pursue MBA, and I decided to do it from a truly global school. And fortunately, Oxford has been a great experience so far.
So, alright, so I'll let you go ahead with your presentation. I understand that there are some aspects of the Oxford MBA that you wanted to talk about today. So your presentation is up, so I would let you just have you go through it. So my request to the attendees is that while Ashutosh is speaking, or while in the first segment of our session will go, as you know, Ashutosh doing a presentation and me asking questions. So during this time, I would request you to not post questions on the chat window. After the basic questions, after I cover the basic questions, then I will open up the floor for questions, and that's when you should be typing your questions. All right, then Ashutosh, please proceed.
Thank you, Aryan. Hello, everyone, once again. And as I mentioned, I had 6 years of experience before joining the Oxford MBA. I was Chief of Operations with a Hong Kong-based shipping company. I joined MBA program at Oxford because of the global brand recognition that Oxford carries. It will help me lifelong after doing the MBA. Second reason was Oxford. I did a lot of research, and I found that Oxford MBA will help me achieve my career goals. My career goal is a pretty unique one, and not many other schools could help me do that. So that's why I joined the Oxford MBA program. So about Side Business School, it is a very young business school situated in an ancient university. You might be knowing that Oxford is one of the oldest university. Oxford MBA is a very entrepreneurial program. It is truly global business school because it has students from 60 countries, and even the professors are from different parts of the world. So the MBA program is fully integrated in the University of Oxford, which means it is different. Which makes it different from other business schools. There are renowned professors from other disciplines of the university who come and share their experience and knowledge with the MBA students at Side Business School. So this diversity helps a lot. For example, you get to see different ways of looking at various problems, different ways of thinking about things. So it really provides a life-changing experience in a world-class university. Yeah, so there are 3 MBA options at Oxford. The full-time MBA program is 1-year MBA program. It starts in September. Most of the students are at the early or at the middle of their career, and the total strength of our class was 320. There is another program which is called 1+1 MBA. It is 2-year program, and the first year is a different master's degree, followed by the MBA, 1-year MBA at Side Business. And executive MBA is basically for senior managers, which is 24 months of modular program. It has 75 students per class. So full-time MBA and 1+1 MBA is most preferred program. Full-time MBA is for students people having some experience, and 1+1 MBA is for people who are having lower experience, lesser, like say 1 to 2 years of experience. They're joining usually 1+1 MBA. Just to explain a little bit more about 1+1 MBA, it is, as I mentioned, it is 1 year of master's degree in which you specialize in one particular field. For example, you can do masters in computer science or masters in public policy, followed by the second year at Side Business School doing MBA. So there are quite good career advantages if you are not having many years of work experience, because you get expertise in one of the fields, and also you get 2 years of experience at Side. You get 2 degrees from Oxford University, which is really valuable. relevant. Yeah, there is a very diverse community. Like people people in our class are from majority are from the US, and the second highest majority are from India and Indian subcontinent. You find people from various other countries, and they come from various disciplines like. As you can see, they are from social science and religious studies, sociology, and many other disciplines. So, 1 year program at Site Business School is really intense. It is a mixture of class-based and experiential learning. There are 8 core modules that you see here. You have to be part of all these. These are mandatory courses: finance, accounting, strategy, economics, marketing, operations management. These are the mandatory ones. Then you can choose electives based on your preferences. You are also part of an entrepreneurship project. Everyone is part of an entrepreneurship project, which has been the highlight of my MBAs, because we were given an opportunity to start our own business, and we pitched for investment to investors. They liked, and the people whose business model was very attractive, they got even funding from the investors right away at the university. So Oxford has a lot of focus on entrepreneurship, and and there are other modules, and one is in the summer you get options of strategic consulting projects. So if you want to join consulting, this gives you a very good opportunity. Otherwise, you also get opportunity of internship from various companies that visit the school campus. The 1 year at Oxford are divided in 5 to 6 terms. So it starts in September, where MBA launch takes place, and right away you start with finance, leadership courses, analytics, accounting. There is special focus on finance and consulting right in the beginning. In the Hillary term, which starts in January. You are given core module as marketing and entrepreneurship, and in Trinity term you get to see you choose your preferred electives, and up in the summer summer term is of 2 months, in which you take either electives, or you do summer projects in consulting, or you do an internship. The MBA program gets over in September next year. It's as I mentioned, it's pretty hectic. It used to start at 8 a.m. and it used to finish at 8 p.m. in the beginning 2 terms. In the first 2 terms, it was really hectic. But now I'm at the end of the term, and summer's option is about to start, so it's not that hectic anymore. But most of the time you spend like 12 hours a day at school. So I think this is the schedule that we usually have at site. This is a class profile. You see the fee is right now 52,000 British pounds, which includes college membership fee as well as Oxford Union membership fee. If you look at the nationality, it has been divided like there are 21% from Central Asia, 24% from North America, 70% from East Asia Pacific, and 17 to 18% are from Middle East. So yeah, there are 94% of international students. So British people and the people from UK are in minority. They are just 6%. Average work experience is 5 years. It's pretty diverse class. Average age is 28, and 36% of the class are women. The average GMAT score of the class was 695 this year. There is a pretty good return on investment. People get employed in various industries, the areas of their interest. So, majority of them get into diversified industry. For example, if you want to get into energy or e-commerce or something, so that is the majority. 42%, 25% get into finance, followed by consulting, 23%, and 10% in non-profit. These are the companies, the leading companies that visit the campus and in which the students have been getting shortlisted. So you can see there are companies from all the sectors, be it tech or consulting or finance.
So Ashutosh, the 1+1 MBA. So if somebody is a fresher, is he eligible to apply for 1+1? That means somebody who has just finished a bachelor's degree and no work experience. So is he eligible for the 1+1 MBA? Is there any work experience like cutoff or requirement for the 1+1 MBA?
No, for 1+1 MBA there is no requirement of work experience.
So if a fresher wants to do an MBA from Oxford, then he should take the part of 1+1, right?
Yes. But the first year, as I mentioned, first year is not an MBA. It's not a business degree. You can join either masters in computer science or masters in political public policy. So there are various options available. So first year is not part of MBA. The second year is fully an MBA.
But the degree that they end up getting is the same, say, business school MBA, right?
Yes.
And are they also?
First year they spend at another school, and the second year they spend at side business schools.
Right.
They get 2 degrees from Oxford University, one from side business school in the second year, and in first year they get degree from other programs.
Okay. And so the people with 1+1, so their second year, the second year that they spend on the business in the business school, so they do the similar same 1 year MBA program like you are doing.
Yes, it is absolutely the same. They are part of our class.
Oh, okay. So it is then really beneficial, right? If somebody right after college without any work experience, so if they go for the 1+1, then they end up with the Oxford MBA degree in 2 years, right?
Yes.
Okay, so that can be, so those of you who do not have work experience, if you want to do an MBA, to get into Oxford without work experience, you should take the part of 1+1, that seems to be a really good option. So Ashutosh, another question. So in the slide where you talked about the course, breakup, this slide, the summer internship that you say. So is this a paid internship?
Yes, it is a paid internship. So all these companies that I mentioned in one of the next slides, so they come, and some of them, if the people do not have any experience, they join this slide. So the people who do not have any work experience, they do the internship with one of these companies.
Okay. So in your case, what did you do? Did you do the summer project or the internship or electives? What did you opt for?
Well, I'm joining the Government of India, the Advisory Board of Government of India.
Oh, that's
so
great.
It is pretty different. That's why I have a very unique goal, and I ended up getting something different.
That's really interesting. So, did you have that job offer before you joined the Oxford MBA, or after, or you got it, after while doing your MBA?
I got it just a few months ago, actually, a couple of months ago.
Okay. So, so how will the return on investment work out then? I mean, the Oxford MBA is quite expensive, and then you will be getting a salary in rupees. So, do you think it's still worth it?
Well, in my case, it is different because I had some savings and I was not keen on getting immediate return on investment. I was looking at long-term goal, and in the long-term goal, I'm sure I will be able to get something very important and beneficial for my career.
So, before we move on to application requirements, so right now there are a lot of rumors about Brexit and all of that. So, your class, your classmates, the Indians in your classmates or the international students in your batch, have they been able to get jobs?
Yeah. So I was going to mention that. So, after past 2 years were not that great in terms of career opportunities at Oxford, because there were a lot of changes in the class structure as well as career stream. But this year it has been really great. Despite Brexit, last year Brexit happened, but this year most of the class has got placement offers from leading companies of their interest. So yeah. It doesn't look like Brexit has created any negative impact on the class placement so far.
So that's a really good thing to hear. So how many Indians are there in your class in this batch? So how many Indians are there?
Out of 327, we have more than 55 students from India.
And what kind of backgrounds and GMAT scores do they have? Would you know?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, if you see the average GMAT score of the class is 695, but actually Indians have a bit of higher GMAT score. So most of the Indians have 720 or plus. Yes, there are a few who have less than 700, but just a couple of or 3-4 of them. But most of them have 720 plus.
And they are mainly engineers, or?
Yeah, majority of them are engineers, but not essentially. They are from different backgrounds. If you divide the profile of Indian students, I would say 50% are engineers.
Okay.
The rest of the 50% are from different backgrounds, they're from banking, from commerce background or economics background, having economics and other universities.
So, we have a question there. Somebody wants to know that what is the maximum age in your? Who is the oldest of your classmates?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So yeah, one of our MBA classmate was the country head of ICICI Bank, one of the department of ICICI Bank. So he is 41 years old. And yeah, there is no age limit as such.
Yeah, right, so 41 years, right. So, are there any doctors or CAs in your batch? Indians.
How many CAs?
Are there any CAs in your batch?
Yeah, there are quite a few CAs, lawyers. So from India, there are 3 lawyers who are practicing at Supreme Court, as well as one of them was corporate lawyer for Rendezvous. There are 3 CAs from India, and the backgrounds that I can remember right now. But yeah, they have quite diverse background from Indian president.
So, Ravi has a question that what is the range of salary that, on an average in Indian students, what kind of salary do they end up getting?
Yeah, so it depends on which company you join. But if you look at the average salary of Oxford this year was for the last class was £75,000,
Okay. Okay.
which is considerably higher than the other average salary in the other business schools. UK.
And there is you say that there this an entrepreneurship project for Oxford has it's a very famous component. A lot of people right after based on that project they end up starting their business. So do you have any of your classmates have this got into entrepreneurship immediately after the MBA?
Yes. Actually, 3, 4 have shown their interest, and they are full time working on their own business. So one of them has started working on e-commerce grocery business, and the second one is into greenhousing in Germany. He is setting up his business in Germany. So yeah, I mean we work in a team of 4 to 5 students in the entrepreneurship project, and if the school finds it interesting, they are immediately willing to fund it.
So there are few questions related to work visa, work permit, etc. So just can you elaborate a bit on like right after MBA, for how long do you get a work permit, etc. Just can you spend a few minutes on that?
Yes, so definitely I got work. Sorry, immediately after admission, we applied for student visa, and the student visa was for 18 months, 12 months of MBA, and 6 months in addition to the MBA. The 18 months of visa is given to only selected 3-4 MBA programs in the UK, not to the other programs. I'm not sure whether they will continue to give 6 months of extra student visa allowance for next year and the year after that, but hopefully they should. In terms of work visa, the companies that hire you, they apply for full-time work visa, and most of the people get work visa easily based on the company that sponsors them.
So to summarize what Ashutosh said is now for the Oxford MBA, London Business School MBA, there are few top MBAs of UK where you get 6 months additional student visa. So the Ashutosh went for the 1 year MBA, so his visa was for 18 months. So you can say that after completion of the MBA, so you will get 6 more months to find a job. Once you get the job, your company will process your work visa. The work visa in UK is far simpler and easier to get than the US H1B visa. So if you get a job, it's almost guaranteed that you will get the work permit. So I hope that answers those of you who were asking questions about work visas and student visas, etc. So Ravi, I don't think Ashutosh will be able to give you the name of the person who is doing a greenhousing project. That might be against that information is confidential. I don't think he can give that to you. Vaibhav's question is, how will the experience of around 3 years be taken by the school? Will a student below age of 25 years be at all considered? I think Vaibhav, this is related to the application requirements, so which is the next segment of our session. So we'll talk about the application requirements. So Ashutosh, please proceed with the application requirements.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, so in your application, compulsory requirements are having undergraduate degree, 2 years or more of full-time work experience, GMAT or GRE score. They also require a CV, 1-page CV. They have 2 essays and 2 letter of recommendations. They also require a TOEFL score of 110 plus, or if you are giving IELTS, it has to be more than 7.5. For Indians like me, it was mentioned on my transcript that my medium of undergraduate degree was English, so I did not require either TOEFL or IELTS. So it's not required for most of the Indians because I believe they have English medium written on their undergraduate degree transcript. As a strong applicant, they really want you to have good marks in your undergraduate degree. I have never met anyone having less than 70% in their undergraduate degree score among Indian students. GMAT score, as I mentioned, Indians usually have more than 720 of GMAT score. So for Indians, it essentially it ranges. So far, I have met people from 680 to 780. So there are quite a wide range of GMAT scores. In this, if as a strong applicant, work experience should demonstrate progress and responsibility and international exposure, which are important components of your application. You should definitely mention some extracurricular activities. Through your application, you should be able to demonstrate leadership, communication abilities, teamwork, and self-awareness. These are the things that they look at. You should also be able to demonstrate desire to have an impact, which is really considered a lot, not only for MBA but also in your job applications after getting the MBA.
So just to summarize, I don't know whether you guys heard that part or not. Oxford is a university where your academic performance is very important. So if you don't have a decent academic experience, then then your chances of getting into Oxford will be low. So it's not one of those schools where you can compensate with a high GMAT score. They put they give a lot of weightage to the your academic grades. So if you have let's say just a 60-65% in your engineering degree, then your profile will not be strong for Oxford. They are very particular about like strong academic record, and Oxford is very particular about that. The next point, which Ashutosh said, and which I don't, so is this part, desire to have an impact. This is extremely important. So in your essays, when you are writing about your career goals or whatever it is, make sure that you bring that element out. It's not just your long-term career goals should be, focused in such a way that you want to have a bigger impact. So this is something that you should bring out in your interview stage as well, and this is not just to get the admission, even after the MBA when you are looking for jobs. So this is one factor that is given a lot of weightage. So Sriram, there is no psychometric analysis. I think you have been asking this question. So there are no psychometric analysis to get admission. So there are a couple of questions not necessarily related, but still, about scholarships. So Ashutosh, are there any scholarships? So how many students in your batch have got scholarships, and what kind of scholarships?
Yeah, so this was I was going to mention in one of the next slides. So yeah, this is the one. So yeah, these are the scholarships available. So there are alumni fund scholarship, wide and field scholarship, scholarship, and so yeah, these are the scholarships available. But for Indian students, I would say only out of 55, only 2 of them got full scholarship, 100% scholarship. Others have got around, I would say, 5 to 10% max, not beyond that. So those people who got 100% scholarship, they were having experience in social responsibility and social impact. If you have that kind of experience, Oxford really cares a lot about social impact, and that might help you achieve a good scholarship. There are good loan facilities available. The Prodigy Finance is really good one. So there was no collateral requirement, and they were able to give 100% funding, 100% loan. They they do not have very high interest rates. This is also a good financing option, and most of the MBA students took prodigy finance loans.
So there are a couple of questions. So I think that answered your questions about scholarship. So as in the current batch, there are 55 Indians, of which 2 have got 100% scholarship, and some of mostly not more than 5-10% scholarship basically. So unless your profile is really good, unless it is on the side of social entrepreneurship or social responsibility oriented profile, so you should not be planning your MBA hoping to get a scholarship. So that should be it, and there are this Sriram, I think I answered your question. There is no psychometric analysis. These are the admissions criteria. That's it. Then Muthu, your question is how do you see 1 year US MBA versus UK MBA? So this is a very generic question. I have only one thing to say. In UK, 1 year MBA is the norm. That means business schools offer 1 year MBAs. In US, on the other hand, the 2 year MBA program, that's the norm, right? Very few US business schools have 1 year MBA. So in US business schools, the flagship MBA programs are not the 1 year MBA programs, but in UK, the flagship MBA programs are the 1 year MBA programs. So that's all I would like to say, So almost all the business schools have the 1 year option in UK, but in the US they don't. Dipto's question is, I am not able to understand the question. Maybe Ashutosh, you will be able to answer the question. His question is, does company for generic placement interviews or they come only for pre-screened profiles? I am not able to understand this question. Did you understand it, Ashutosh?
I don't think I am able to understand it clearly.
Okay, so Dipto, you might want to rephrase it. Ashutosh and I could not understand your question, so please try to rephrase it. Naman, Ashutosh has already said in the current batch of 327, there are 55 Indians, right? So Vaibhav, your question is very generic. It says, how will an experience of around 3 years be taken by the school? My answer is that it's not going to get you a rejection, if that's what you are asking. Will a student below age of 25 years be considered? The answer is yes. Age is not a thing, So Muthu, your question is 1 year MBA in US versus 1 year MBA in UK, the reputation. Again, very difficult question to answer. In UK, your Oxford, Cambridge, all these are very reputed MBAs. In the US also, top business schools like Kellogg, Cornell, Columbia, they offer 1 year MBA programs, and they are also equally reputed. So I think you should go by the business school. If the business school is good, then the MBA program is reputed, irrespective of whether it's a 1 year program or a 2 year program. In your CV, when you write the name of the business school, that's enough. It does not matter whether it's a 1 year program or the 2 year program. Okay. All right. So Ashutosh, please continue.
Okay, thank you. So actually this is not very relevant right now, but while taking admission in Oxford, you also take admission in one of the colleges over here along with the business school. So there are quite a few colleges, and colleges as being the part of a college, you enjoy the social life. So these are there are around 38 colleges in Oxford, and you can see their oldest college, which is Beloit, and Merton College, which are 13th century colleges. If you were keen on playing rugby, you join Eagle or rowing, then you join Christchurch, and Trinity Christchurch is famous for Harry Potter and all those. So these are the things that you should consider after getting shortlisted at Oxford MBA.
So is it any of the colleges, is it easier to get into or more difficult to get into, or any when they choose a certain college in the MBA application, is it can the choice lead to a rejection or acceptance? Does it have any weightage?
apply to some of the colleges that are very competitive, you get rejected, but you get a college. You get a college where there is not much of competition. So for example, Christchurch is very competitive. Like they have 6 Olympic medalists in the current batch. So yeah, they like to take high achievers in even 20 and take high achievers. If you get rejected from these colleges, you end up getting at some of the other colleges. So it doesn't impact your MBA degree or anything. But if you want to have some good life from social point of view, social life, these colleges are really should be considered definitely after you get shortlisted at Oxford MBA.
I think Dipto has reworded his question. His question is, when you say companies come for placement interviews, do they come after they have pre-screened the student profiles and come only for specific students only, or they come with an intent of hiring and anyone or everyone who is willing to sit for the interview process can apply? I still didn't understand. Ashutosh, I mean, you might want to take a stab at it.
Yeah, so it goes both ways. Some of the companies directly look at your profile from the careers website and they contact directly you. So, for example, Microsoft called the people who had experience in the relevant industry and did not call the people who did not have the relevant experience. But most of the companies which come to the campus, they ask everyone to apply. So there are a few companies that they screen their the CVs online, the careers website. So yeah, both the things are possible.
So Gurpreet has this interesting question that if somebody has a low percentage in their undergraduate, just like around 60%, but a person has a master's degree and the percentage in master's degree is very high, then does he, what are his chances? I think, the fact that somebody has a master's degree, makes it look a little better and might help in, covering up a little bit for the undergraduate percentage. What do you think, Ashutosh?
Yeah, definitely. If you have master's degree in an interesting field, then you might be able to overcome your low score in undergraduate degree. But I'm not really sure on this point. So yeah, I can't say a definite answer.
Yeah. But at least your chances are better as compared to purely having a 60% in bachelor's degree and nothing else. So as compared to that, having a master's degree in it, that is a bit, now you are in a better situation. That's all,
Yeah.
Naman has a question. I set up a manufacturing plant a year ago. Will it be considered a startup? Yeah, of course, I guess. Of course. Even if you did that as a part of your family business, still you can present it in your essays as an entrepreneurship, venture. Okay, Anisha's question is a little interesting. What kind of extracurricular activities are we talking about? Would you want to elaborate on this, Ashutosh? What kind of extracurricular activities did you have, by the way?
Well, my extracurricular activity was public speaking. I used to do public speaking a lot. So that is the only one I could have. I had, but my strength was my unique profile. Not many other are from merchant navy or navy background, so that gave me an edge over other applicants and on my not so great GMAT score. But in terms of like having a unique extracurricular activity, I would say again CSR plays a good role. Having some, if you have spent some good time in the CSR activity, or you are like anything, sports, music, or anything. So if you are able to demonstrate that you have passion or you care about something else, so yeah, and for me, one more thing, like I was part of the Indian Prime Minister's Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao that campaign, and I was able to I was able to create some impact in the society using that in my locality. So that made some difference. Yeah.
So here I would like to add that it's important to have a history of it. Don't start doing stuff right now. Just for the sake of applications, and it is more useful to have a history. So whether it is as playing a musical instrument or writing poetry or whatever it is, there should be a history attached to it. Don't start doing stuff right now, just for the sake of application. That is very important. Not necessarily for Oxford, for all business school applications. It's more important. It's better to have a couple of things which you have been doing for the past 4-5 years rather than starting 20 things right now. The above question is a little into the future. What is asking is that after MBA, after you get admission, how do you seek an accommodation? Is it preferable to live in the campus or outside it? What would be your recommendation, Ashutosh?
Campus. There's no campus as such. It's a small city, and the university is spread across the entire city. So it is a city of around 2-3 kilometers of range, even a little bit more. And students live at any place, so they can live at accommodation facilitated by college, or they can opt for private accommodation. So there's no restriction on that. But it is recommended not to live very far from the city of Oxford. There is a restriction of 25 miles. Cannot live beyond 25 miles from the city.
So what is cheaper? Like in the US, for instance, it is cheaper to live it is cheaper not to live in university housing. So in Oxford, what is cheaper, to live in housing provided by the university or to take up apartments outside the campus?
No, it is like there is not much of difference. It is almost the same. Being in the college facilitated accommodation or living at private accommodation, it is also the same.
So then it makes sense to live in the campus, right? At least you are saving commute time and commute cost, right?
Yeah. So, I hardly find anyone who is living very much outside the college zone just for saving some money, but I have never found anyone.
So Abhishek's question is it possible to switch from engineering to finance industry in a 1-year course, or should we opt for a 2-year course for such a switch? What is your recommendation, Ashutosh?
That's interesting. So people have switched, people have got into finance role in my class as well. But there are not many, so I would say 2 or 3 of them have been able to switch to finance. So it is not impossible, but yeah, it is a bit difficult.
So Abhishek, from what I have seen is that, or what I've heard from students is that in a 1-year program, right from day one, it's so very hectic. Ashutosh has shared his schedule. It's like 12 hours a day you are spending just to keep up with the coursework. So it's extremely difficult to find time to do anything else, that will help you switch your industry. So it is good if you want to continue in the same field, then a 1-year MBA is great. You just gaining the knowledge and then you are going into a higher position in your same industry. But if you want to, from software, if you want to go into finance, or from finance you want to go into consulting, so I think in that case a 2-year program allows you enough time to take up extra courses, be involved with the necessary clubs, take up a longer duration internship program, so the switch becomes slightly more realistic in a 2-year program. So that has been my experience, while interacting with students and with our Jamboree students, for a long time. So you can also do your own research, but that will be our recommendation actually. If you don't have a lot of experience and you want to switch industry, then a 2-year program gives you the time and the flexibility to do that, Natasha, your question is, when is the right time to start preparing for GMAT? So, Ashutosh, when did you prepare for your GMAT?
I prepared, I prepared in parts, not continuously. So I started preparing almost a year ago before taking the GMAT. But I left so I prepared for a couple of months and then I left, and then again I started 3 months before taking the GMAT. So I would recommend giving some time of 3 to 4 months is a good time.
So the stage 1 deadline, if it's in September, then somebody should take their GMAT exam by August. Is that a good time?
I mean, I would recommend as early as possible and spend some time on application. So it takes some time to prepare good application, doing some research, and also taking letter of recommendations are not very easy. So I would say keep at least 1 month before application, more than 1 month actually, and 1.5 months should be given for application. Appears to be time.
So in Oxford, there are 6 rounds of admission. So is it okay applying in round 3 or round 4?
Yeah, round 3, 4, 5, even 6 is not bad, but after even in round 3, the scholarship chances drop a lot because most of the scholarships are granted in stage 1 or 2. So I could not secure any scholarship because I applied in stage 3, and I don't know many people who got scholarship in stage 3 or after that. So stage 1 and 2 are the best, give you the best chances of getting scholarships and getting good college. So after coming here, you want to be in the good college, and that applying early gives you that advantage.
So your recommendation is that people who want to be considered for scholarships, or people who want to give themselves a higher chance of getting a scholarship, they should apply either in round 1 or round 2.
Yeah.
So these were the last year's deadlines. So September 9th was so this year also it will be around the same time. So the second round deadline happens in October. So you can apply. See, your chances of scholarship and admission in round 3 is still there, but from round 4 onwards, the scholarships are almost impossible, right? So if I have to recommend, I would say that just stick to the first 3 rounds. Give preference to the first 2 rounds. If you can apply in the first 2 rounds, it's great. If not, you can apply in the 3rd round also. But it's not a good idea to apply in the last 3 rounds. Your chances of admission also goes down. So Naman's question is, I have a weak undergrad score. Should I apply for startup? But I think this is an incomplete question. I'm not able to see the question. Right. So anybody has any other questions? So which other colleges did you apply to, Ashutosh, in addition to Oxford?
No. Okay, which other university you mean?
Yeah, which other B schools did you apply for?
Okay. I applied to IIM Bangalore in India, which I got into. I applied to Kellogg in the US. Kellogg.
The 1-year program in Kellogg?
No, 2-year program.
Okay.
So I did not get into either Kellogg or Duke. But I didn't want to spend 2 years now because I 1 year would have been ideal for me.
So you applied to only 4 business schools.
Yeah, I applied to these 4, and there was one more. Yeah, I forgot the name. I think I applied to Ross as well, Ross, Michigan.
Okay, right.
So these are the 3 I applied in the US, and 2 outside US, one in India and one.
So tell us a little bit about your experience at the Oxford Business School. How different was it? Did you get whatever you expected out of an MBA? Just tell us a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, as I mentioned, there are really the 1 year at Oxford has been really. I mean, I have finished 9 months so far, and it has been really wonderful beyond my expectation. So the best thing I could say is the personal development that I had so far. My perspective to view things from different angle and to analyze the things have improved a lot. I became more social after coming here. I was not the same before coming here. So, like if you see, there are people from different backgrounds. So if you go to different colleges, as I mentioned, there are quite a few colleges. You mingle with people from different backgrounds. You go to the dinners with college dinners with people of different background. You mingle with them, and your perspective changes a lot. So this I think this experience is very unique to Oxford. Not many other B schools provide that. Not even Cambridge or many other schools. So I think the best thing I would say is networking with people from different backgrounds. The famous, one of the most famous thing in Oxford is Oxford Union, which has produced so many politicians in the past, world leaders. So I got a chance to debate at the Oxford Union, and I would remember that for the entire life. So these are the key highlights, I would say. For the next year applicants, I would like to say that Nobel Prize winner Malala Yousafzai is also joining Oxford. She is doing a different program, not MBA, but she is coming here for.
So there's some interesting questions. I don't know what kind of extracurricular. So we are done with this. Okay. Okay. What's the most unique factor about the curriculum and course that made Ashutosh select said? Anything else you want to add? I think you've already given a lot of points. Anything else?
Okay, what is the most unique? So for me, the most unique thing was their huge focus on social impact. Two things stand very out of the MBA program at Oxford are their huge focus on social impact and their huge focus on entrepreneurship. These two things if you are passionate about these two things, I would say Oxford would be your first choice, because they focus a lot on in these two areas, and there are regular world level conferences happening every month actually.
So
I was very keen on social impact, but there are after coming here, I got a personal coach who was able to help me discover my goals, and I ended up something. I found I was able to clear my goals, and I was able to get something what I wanted.
So Dipto, I think your question is already answered. That what other business schools did Ashutosh apply to? I think he already answered that. Shriram question is how many intakes are there? So Shriram in Oxford Business School takes students only once a year. The MBA starts from September, so it takes students only once a year. So there is only one intake. Anisha, your question is your part-time job necessary according to the expenses? I don't understand your question, but I think you will not have any time to do any part-time job. You know what? Ashutosh, would you like to add to that?
Yeah, yeah, that's true. There's no time for any other activity. Like you stay at school for long hours, and when you are not at school, the time that I showed from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. We have classes and activities, but after that also people stay in the library for late night actually for the next day preparation. So yeah, there is no time for anything else.
So Muthu, I think that addresses your question also. That his question was, how often do you interact with industry people, or how often are you able to go to London? So I think industry people, yes, the MBA program itself gives lots of opportunity to interact with people, but commuting to London for fun, I think maybe sometimes on weekends. What do you think, Ashutosh?
Yeah, I mean, there are breaks during these two, there are 4 terms, so there are breaks of maybe 15, 20 days. So, not only London, like people go in groups to many places around the world. So, for example, our trip to Hong Kong and Singapore and another country was funded by Oxford. We went there for 7 to 8 days of trip. Similarly, people went to San Francisco, Africa, and all those places. So yeah, you get to travel, you get opportunities to travel, and there are breaks in which you get some time to travel around.
So, Purvi, I think you missed the initial beginning part of our session. So, your question is, do we need any work experience? Well, for the regular 1-year MBA, the program that Ashutosh is doing, yes, you need work experience. But if you don't have work experience, you can go for the 1+1 MBA program. Right? Anurag, I think you also missed the probably initial part of the session. Your question is, will MBA from SAID help secure a job in India? So, Ashutosh himself has got a job in India. So definitely, the SAID MBA will help. You can get a job in India with that. Niladri has this interesting question on Ashutosh. Are there any exchange programs with other business schools?
There is no exchange program as such, but yeah, you get to travel to different places funded by the school, where you go for your electives. So people who took marketing, for example, digital media electives, they traveled to the US, and in New York they went to the companies that are leading companies in marketing, and they hosted their travel and some training as well. So again, in summer consulting projects, people are traveling to different places, and they are doing their consulting. So I think so. Actually, there is no exchange program with any other B school that is given in other B schools, but the opportunities that I mentioned are there.
Okay, so I think we are almost done. Mansi, your question is a part-time job necessary? So I think we already had, somebody else had asked this question, and we already addressed that if you your MBA is going to be so hectic that you will not have time to do any part-time job. So don't think. I mean, it is not a good idea to budget. So when you're making a budget, make sure that you have the necessary finances. I would say that. Okay, so Vaibhav's question is the last question that we will take. His question is, how much focus does the school have on studies? Does the school have that typical kind of bookish studies as we have them in India? So what do you have to say to that?
No, it's very different from the pattern that we have in Indian schools. So yeah, you have to focus on studies to cope up with the exams and all those things. But most of the things are like for entrepreneurship project, we launched our own product, we reached out to our industry leaders of those products to develop our product. So that doesn't include any bookish thing, but and there are so many other things. For example, leadership courses, which depends on your peer-to-peer interaction, which does not include a lot of bookish things. So it's a mix of both. It's not like some of the MBA programs that in India focus a lot on academics only. Here you have to focus on a number of different things.
So lastly, those students who are planning to apply to Oxford this year, do you have any advice on how they should work on their applications?
Yeah. So as I mentioned in your application, you should be able to demonstrate some leadership skills that you have. If you do not have like leading a large team, but even if you have leadership skills like collaborating with your team, or if you are able to motivate your team to do something different, even being at lower position, that demonstrates that you have ability to create impact. So you should be able to showcase your these skills like teamwork, leadership, ability to create an impact, and also during your essays you should mention why how Oxford will help you bring some changes to the world scale problems. So I think in the last year's in my last year's essays, the essay that I had, it was like how can I bring changes to the world. So I had to mention like how my goals are oriented and how my goals will my progress towards my goal will help me achieve change the world scale problems. So you should really be able to structure your answer in such a way that it answers the primary questions in the essay.
Thank you very much, Ashutosh. So